Have you ever had it where you have a conversation with somebody and then you just feel completely drained? You feel like you're not fully yourself after that conversation. You feel like something was taken from you, like somebody stole something from you, where you don't feel as connected to the present moment as you were before that conversation started. Like before that conversation started, you probably felt more energized than after that conversation. Have you experienced that before? If you've experienced that before, what you may be experiencing is somebody stealing your energy. And so this doesn't happen consciously. This is you unconsciously taking on their energy and them unconsciously trying to steal your energy. And people don't actually do this on purpose. But when it does happen, it can leave us feeling completely drained, like we don't have motivation, we don't feel connected to the present moment, and we don't feel like we are connected to who we truly are. We feel like there's a lack of authenticity after that conversation. And so in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 3 ways to keep your vibration high and protect your energy. 3 ways to protect your energy and keep your vibration high so you can actually not have to take on these wounds that people are presenting to you. Because you don't have to take on that energy. That energy that you take on from people sometimes, you don't have to take it on. You can create boundaries, you can be fully in your power, and you can protect your energy and not feel guilty for it and create a win-win where you win and that person wins. And you can actually feel peaceful in your body without having to take on wounds that are not even yours. So if you're new to this channel, what I want you to do is to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, because I do post a new video every single day. Also, if you want to work with me one-on-one personally, hit the link that's in the description box of this video to apply for a free consultation. So you got to understand, it's so critical to protect your energy. Because if you don't protect your energy, you will feel drained. Now, what is protecting your energy really? Like, what does that really mean? Well, the first thing I want you to understand is that it's not that people are trying to take your energy consciously. It's usually a very unconscious act because the ego is looking for more love. It wants attention, it wants validation, it wants energy from other people, which is totally understandable and that's okay. But the question is it happening consciously? Most of the time not. So the key and the first step to this whole process is to create boundaries. And you've probably heard this before, but so many people have heard this, but they're still not actually putting it into practice. If you feel drained after a conversation, if you feel disconnected after a conversation, you have to understand you didn't actually have to have that conversation. You didn't have to take on that energy. You do not have to take on energy that you don't want to take on. And this is a more masculine perspective. Because I know that if you're an empath, if you're a sensitive being, you have a big heart, you want to serve the world, you want to help people, you want to be a healer, you want to take on people's wounds. But the question is, do you actually hold space for yourself? Do you heal yourself? Do you give yourself the opportunity to hold space for you? And the first step to doing that, if the answer is no, is to create boundaries. Because when you create boundaries, when you create a masculine boundary, that will actually allow you to be there more for those people that you want to be there for. Without boundaries, people are going to control you, to take advantage of your energy, maybe not necessarily on purpose, but they will. It's so critical to create boundaries. If you don't create boundaries, people will take advantage of you. Maybe not on purpose, but they will. And so what does creating a boundary look like? Well, it means saying no. It means I am not going to tolerate this kind of energy in my life. Now, you don't have to communicate it in that way. You could just say things like, no, like, hey, I have to do this right now instead. It's not about like being negative or pushing people out of your life in a negative way. You can create boundaries in a loving way too. You can create boundaries in a way where you don't have to be what some people think is like you being rude. You don't have to be rude to create boundaries. It's just about having love for yourself. And people may actually try to tell you that you're being rude. But let me ask you this. Is it rude to live your life how you want? Is it rude to want to meditate if you don't want to do something else? Because a lot of people have, like, this is just what I've experienced. Like, I don't want to sound rude when I say this. Some people think that like, if they, for example, don't want to do something for somebody, even if it's family, but they prefer to meditate instead, we can get caught up in feeling guilty because we think that we're rude for not wanting to do something for somebody else. But if we go back to Law of Attraction 101, you got to focus on what you want, not what you don't want. So if you want to feel connected to the present moment, you have a right to do so. If you want to be in your room alone and to meditate, then you have a right to do so. If you want to do something instead of something else that somebody wants for you, then you have a right to do so. And that requires you to say no. Because when you say no to somebody else, that means that you're actually giving yourself the love that you need instead of that. And you can still be there for them when you want to, but only when you really want. Because we feel like we're obligated to do things for people that we don't actually want to do. And that's a lack of boundaries. If you feel like you have to do something because somebody is obliging you to do it, and you feel guilty for not doing something, that in itself is already the energy controlling you. You feeling bad and you feeling guilty is a form of manipulation in itself. If you're judging somebody else and judging, so you're not creating boundaries because you want to love yourself, but you're judging that person, you hold anger, you hold resentment towards that person, they're stealing your energy. If you feel guilty for saying no, they're stealing your energy. If you have a hard time saying no, and you feel any negative emotions around that person's stealing your energy. Now, they're not doing it on purpose, but they are stealing your energy. And I don't even like to use that word because that can have a very negative connotation. It's like, oh, they're stealing my energy. If you have that energy behind the words, like, oh, he's stealing my energy, the fact that you have that energy behind the words is already them stealing your energy. Anger is somebody stealing your energy. If you're wasting thought process on somebody in a way they're at a low vibration, you're at a low vibration in that moment. And that's not easy to hear. I mean that in the most loving way possible. I don't mean that in like a negative way. I really do mean that in the most loving way possible. But the truth, and it's so simple. What's the solution, Francis? That sounds scary to me. Just say no and don't feel guilty for it. It's that simple. Now, the key is that you're not pushing something that you don't want. You're focusing on what you want. So if you want to be alone, then just focus on, I want to be alone right now. This has nothing to do with anybody else or you being rude towards somebody else. It's just you living your life. But then when our energy is so tied to other people, we feel like we actually are being rude. We feel like we're not actually allowed to be ourselves. That's how energetically tied, like our energy is so attached to other people that when we just want to do something for ourselves, now we're rude for it. Think about that. So many people don't live up to their full potential because they feel rude for wanting to meditate. That's something worth investigating. Create the boundary and don't feel guilty for it. I give you permission to not feel guilty to create a boundary. Just say no. Say no. You can say it in a loving way. You don't have to be rude about it. You could just say like, hey, I want to be alone right now. It might even be hard for you. Like, I don't know what you're going through, like what's happening in your life right now, but like it might be hard for you to say that, but you have to do it because it's gonna be the best thing for you to do for yourself and that person. Now, the second thing I want to share with you is give yourself permission to be who you are. This was the hardest thing for me to do for so long because I was so attached to my family's energy and to friends in the past. Friends was easier to cut the ties with, but family was even harder. And just so that you know, I'm not saying to cut people out of your life permanently. If somebody's abusive, then cut them out permanently. I recommend that at least. But if you still want to have somebody in your life, it's not about just cutting them out 100%. It's just giving yourself the opportunity to be who you are fully. And this sounds so egotistical. I know how this sounds. I know how some people are going to take this, and I don't want it to come off in this way. I truly don't. But the thing is, like, we're conditioned in a society to believe that we're not allowed to be us. Like, if you want to be an artist, you want to pursue your dream, we feel like we're not allowed to do that. We feel like we're not allowed to be who we are. We feel like we're not allowed to be our truth. We feel like we're not allowed to follow what it is that we want to do. Why? Because people have some vision for us. But that vision that somebody wants for you is not what you want, it's what they want for you. And because your energy is unconsciously tied to that, now you have to live into somebody else's vision for you. That's a lack of you giving yourself permission to be who you fully are. Let yourself be who you are. Let yourself go after what you want. You don't have to allow people to control you. You are allowed to do what you want to do, which means saying that you don't want to do something else, but really you're doing what you want to do. And that can sound so egotistical, but the truth is that when you give yourself permission to be who you are now giving other people permission to be who they are. If you feed into someone's energy unconsciously, you're actually telling your own subconscious that you're not allowed to be who you are. And you're actually, and listen closely, you're telling that person unconsciously that they are not allowed to be who they are either. And that's a disservice to both parties. When you're doing things for other people that you don't want to do, and you think you're helping them by doing it, you're being a people pleaser. What I learned the other day is that's actually being selfish, because you're not doing it for them. You're helping somebody for your validation and for your satisfaction. When somebody wants something for you, like imagine a parent wants something for their child so badly, like they want them to be that lawyer. They don't want the kid to be the lawyer for them. They want the kid to be the lawyer. They don't want the kid to be the lawyer for the kid. They want the kid to be a lawyer for themselves because they want to see their kid succeed. But it's not about wanting something for the child. It's about the parent wanting the validation of having a successful child. It's a selfish act. The selfless thing to do would be to let your child do what they want. But instead, if the parent pushes an idea onto a child that they don't actually want, that's selfish. And then the parent may think that's being loving, and it is being loving. It is coming from love to many degrees and to many levels, but it's still selfish because you're not letting that person live into their power, nor you. And this is huge. This is absolutely huge. Give yourself permission to be who you are. If somebody has a vision for you, that's their vision for you. That's not your vision. Now, the third thing you want to do when it comes to protecting your energy is be conscious of the people that you invite into your life. Be conscious of who you allow into your space. And this energy of this video may seem a little bit more egotistical. I might be a little bit more emotional in this video. And it's just because so many times we can feel so many energies. We can be convinced that our anxieties are ours when it's not even ours. It's something we took on from parents, something we took on from society. And it's like, it's actually slowing society down when you're living someone else's life. It's slowing down the consciousness of the planet when you're not living your truth, because living truthfully starts with you. It's not about, like, the collective starts with the individual. So if you want to see the collective be empowered, you have to empower yourself first. If you want to see your parents and your family and your friends become empowered, you have to empower yourself first. And it can seem selfish, but when you're living into your truth, into your power, you're actually doing them a favor in the long run. And it doesn't seem like that when I communicated in sometimes I communicated in a way where it seems like I'm being judgmental towards others, but I'm really not. I'm really just trying to communicate that if you want everyone else to be in their power, you individually have to step into your power first, which means cutting off ties and being in your power, creating boundaries, and opening the heart on your terms when you want it. And this leads me to the third point, which is be conscious of the people that you allow into your life. What are your standards for the people that you allow into your life? Do you allow people that are angry to be in your energy field? And this is going to go back kind of like to boundaries, but the question is, like, who do you accept into your social circle? Who do you accept into your life? Who do you allow into your life? Do you just allow any person to come into your life? Do you just allow any kind of vibration to come into your life? Or do you have standards? Do you have standards for the people that you allow into your life? Do you have standards for the energy that you allow into your life? Do you tolerate just any kind of energy to come into your life? Or do you have standards? You have to be conscious of the people that you allow into your life, because if you allow anybody into your energy field, that person may take your energy unconsciously. So the key is to be very conscious. What friends do you have? Who do you allow into your space? And not even from a negative point of view, from a positive point of view, do you have support systems that are bringing your energy up? Like, I have my mentor, and to be honest, I don't really have that many people that I'm talking to in my life right now, because I'm really just focused on my mission. And I have my mentor, and I have a couple friends that are very close to me, and that's about it. And it's not about having a mass amount of people. It's about, and by the way, I chose that. I'm not playing victim at all. I can choose the relationships that I want, and so can you. And so the question is, what energy do you really want to allow into your life? Like, do you want to allow energy that's going to drain you? Or do you want support systems that are actually going to aid in your growth? Like my mentor, the people that I do have in my life, that I've created for myself, this reality that I've chosen for myself, these people are here to raise my vibration. These people are here to allow me to level up every single day. Do you have support systems that are allowing you to raise your energy? That's going to protect your energy like crazy. Having somebody hold space for you, like if you're in a low vibration household, having a friend that's at a higher energy than you, having a mentor, having a coach, having somebody that can lift your spirit up, that's huge. That's the biggest, that's one of the most powerful support systems you can have in your life, is to have somebody that will bring your energy up. Even these videos can be a support system to some degree. Other content that you watch on YouTube can be a support system to some degree. Have somebody in your life that is going to raise your energy up. That's going to protect your energy like crazy. If you want to protect your energy and keep your vibration high, have people in your life that are leaving you feeling inspired after a conversation, not drained, not feeling like you have a lack of motivation after that conversation. Invite people into your life that are actually going to assist in your growth and allow you to step up into your highest potential. And if you follow these three things, you will actually protect your energy and keep your vibrations high. So that's all I have for this video. Once again, if you want to work with me one-on-one personally, hit the link that's in the description box of this video to apply for a free consultation. As always, have yourself a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.